my name is Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Welcome to the 12th episode of the Love and Stitches podcast. Today is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. I'm back on schedule. I think it's April 3rd, 2019. I know it's 2019, but I think it might be April 3rd. Today is really gloomy. Not a lot of sunlight here in my part of Texas. It's like almost 70 degrees, but it's kind of windy and cloudy. So the weather just makes me want to stay home, which luckily that's what I get to do tonight. I'm so happy. After I record this, I just get to hang out on the couch. My husband is cooking dinner. He's actually at the grocery store now, and he's printing out some patterns for me at his mom's house, which is awesome, so that I could stay here and record my podcast. But yeah, that's me. I am wearing, I think when I showed this another time I was wearing it, I had the same loose stitch and I still haven't fixed it, so oops. But this is the Texture Time shawl. It was a mystery knit along with Mr. Stephen West. I think it was in October of, it was last year, so 2018, I believe it was in October, but he does a fall knit along, mystery knit along every year, and it's a shawl, I believe, every year, and it's a lot of fun. I'm definitely gonna do it again next year. This shawl, you can find all the yarns on my Ravelry page, but I believe this is almost all from SSK, Super Summer Knit Together. And I know that the neon is leading in fiber arts. I know that I have Stranded in here. I have Queen City yarns. I have Teeny Button, which I get to see at DFW Fiberfest soon. And I am blanking on the last one, but all of those are on my Ravelry page if you want to see that. So I'm gonna leave this off because I have some other shawls to show, but I was wearing that today. Obviously not with a Hill Country Weavers t-shirt at work, but I've already changed to be more comfortable. So I have a few projects, 2 whips to show you. I have a finished object and a new design that I might save, and then I have a couple other things to talk about. But the big news this week is that it's DFW Fiberfest starting tomorrow on Thursday when this is getting posted. And I am so excited. So if you're gonna be there, let me know. Best place is probably to message me on Instagram. I am gonna come to the podcaster meetup. I think it's on Saturday, not because I'm gonna be there as a podcaster. I wanna meet podcasters, and I have a couple people that I've been in contact with on Instagram, and we're gonna just meet up then. So really excited. I will be there on Thursday afternoon, all day Friday. I'll be at the speaker, and I'll be there Thursday or Saturday morning for a class, and then a little bit in the afternoon for the podcaster meetup. And then I have to go because I am going to a Stars game on Saturday night. It's their last, I think it's their last regular season game because Dallas Stars made the playoffs by a miracle. Okay, so let's talk about some knitting. I usually show my finished objects first, but I'm gonna save it since my finished object is a design, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it. So I brought one project back into operation this week. Really, actually, I brought it back into operation today, and I only knit on it in the car. So these are my Disney socks. This is MALIA Made It yarn, and the color is called Disney Princess Parade. So this is a second sock. The first one I've got in here, I didn't bring a blocker over. It actually has the leftover ball of yarn in it. That's what I do to keep things from getting tangled. No, it doesn't have the leftover ball. It has the heel color inside of it. So just to keep things from getting tangled in my bag, I stuff that in there. It's not gonna hurt it. And here's what the ball looks like. It's so pretty. MALIA makes such amazing yarn. So these were my March socks. They're obviously weren't done in March, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not putting a timeline on this. I mean, if I can just get it done by the end of April, that would be great. It's a very busy month. So I also have it in a bag from MALIA, and It's Disney emojis, Disney princess emojis. So, so cute. So I put like, actually I should move my stitch marker now because that was still the stitch marker from like 2 weeks ago. I have only done like this yellowy green and this part. That's what I did today. Yeah. Not a lot of knitting going on here. Okay. I've moved it, so now I can mark, see how much I can do for next week. That will be a good goal. I think I will get a lot done because this will be the project that I bring with me to Fiberfest. So like when I'm in a class or like waiting for my classes to start, or if I need to like take a break, then I can just have something simple to work on. So you might see this hanging off of my bag. That's what will be in there. The other project that I put some work into is my gorgeous woolberry wrap. Now, if you're watching this on Thursday or even after, this pattern has come out. It's coming out on Thursday, April 4th. I just feel like I'm saying the dates wrong. I think Thursday is the 4th. So we'll just say it comes out on Thursday. But this is a pattern by Jen of Webster Street Knittery. And I was a test knitter, but I was not a test finisher because I did not finish. Luckily, I was able to talk with Jen about it and she was very understanding. So thank you, Jen. But I am so close to finishing this whole side. This thing is massive. It is so gorgeous. You start with a triangle and you can see that I have, this will be, I guess, the right side when I'm wearing it. And I have not started on that. It's on a holder. And this side I am very nearly done. The last thing I have to do is my contrast color, this brown. I'm gonna do a whole lace section in that and it's just gonna be beautiful, and then I'll do the other side. So this, I haven't been working on it for a couple days because I was getting my design all finished, my sample for DFW. So I'm really, really excited that tonight, finally, I get to get back to work on this. I'm almost in a lace section and these lace sections move fast. Like there's a bunch of garter here, but this feels like it takes longer than this. I don't know if it's actually taking me a longer time to do garter or if it's just a mental thing, like how much fun the lace is, but it flies. So the two colors that I'm using, the main color is Suburban Stitcher, and the color is Predictability. So here's her label, Suburban Stitcher, and this is basically like the color of my life right now. And then the other one is, you guys, every single week. Okay, hold on. I know I have the label somewhere. Oh, why do I do this every week? I say that I'm gonna look it up and I don't. The other color, the gorgeous brown that has little like flecks of kind of like fuchsia in it. Not fuchsia, I don't know colors. It's La Bien-Aimée, and it's her BFL base, or their BFL base, and I really, really like it. I would love to make a sweater out of this because I just love BFL for sweaters. It doesn't stretch like superwash or merino, and it just makes a really lightweight knitted sweater. So I think that the next time I come across this BFL, no. I need to knit what I already have for sweaters because I have a few sweater quantities. But when I'm looking for another sweater, maybe I'll get this La Bien-Aimée. It's just, I think just BFL. I don't know. What does this say? Pierre Toki? Maybe one day I will know what that color is. But that's my focus whip for this next week. So I don't know if I'll be finished by next week just because I have the DFW Fiberfest all weekend, but hopefully I can get really, really close to being finished by next week, and I cannot wait to show that to you. All right, so now I'm gonna show you my finished object, which is my shawl design, or wrap, I guess it's more of a wrap, that is coming out today on Thursday, April 4th. And it is, I wanna talk a little bit about the process of designing it, and then I will show off the finished object. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, I was too excited yesterday. So here's what happened. I'll tell a story first. So I began, or Diane of Suburban Stitcher noticed, or I think I had put something out on Instagram that I was designing a crocheted wrap, and Diane of Suburban Stitcher got in contact with me about doing a collaboration, providing yarn, and she wanted to see what I had in mind for the design. Okay, oops, I don't know what I was saying because I got interrupted by my loving husband who is making copies for me right now of my pattern, the pattern that I'm talking about. So of course I had to answer that. I think he called me like however many times you have to call to get through Do Not Disturb because my phone is on Do Not Disturb. Sorry. Okay, so Diane and I started talking about this design like several months ago. And then I just couldn't like get it right. And it really took me a long time before I was ready to like tell Diane exactly what kind of yarn I needed. So that kind of pushed things into crunch time for me. It was all like my doing that it was crunch time. So I had to take that upon myself. But my test crocheters actually got started at the beginning of March, I think. I know before I went on my trip to Disney, they had already, that's when they started. So I think they had about 3 or 4 weeks to work on it. And then I finished mine about 10 days, which I would not recommend because it is a big wrap. But basically what I was gonna say is I've been crocheting, I've been taking this thing everywhere with me. It's really simple. It was a great take-along project. Of course, it got very big, but it's very simple, so it's perfect. I took it around all weekend with me, and I was crocheting a lot. So this is what's crazy. I finished it on Monday. I had to finish it Monday night because I knew I needed to block it and take photos on Tuesday so that I could get it printed today, which is Wednesday, and then take that to DFW Fiberfest tomorrow, which is Thursday. So anyway, this timeline of things made me say I have to finish this on Monday night. So I actually stayed up quite late for me. I wake up really early for work by 6 o'clock. So I stayed up till about 12:30, which is so late for me, crocheting, and then I blocked it and laid it out. And then I went to bed. And then the next day I woke up and I looked at it and I touched it and it was pretty much dry. I mean, it dried really fast, but I had to wait until I came home to look at it. And when I got home yesterday from work and I was ready to take photos, I was so excited after I took all my photos that I blabbed all about it on Instagram. So if you have already, this was a really long explanation to say, if you have already seen the wrap on Instagram, I'm gonna tell you all that and more. I don't even know why I was explaining that, but let me show you as part of the design process for this. Because I needed to get the pattern to testers before I could make the full thing myself, I made what I call a full-sized sample. And I've seen other people do this before. I think it's a really good design practice. But I basically made a mini wrap. So these are the same. Actually, I did edit the proportions just a little bit. The final proportions are like 1, 1, and 2. Like basically this section is double the side sections here, whereas this one is 1, 1, 1.5. So I did edit it just a little bit, but everything else is pretty much the same. There's 2 stripes here and 2 stripes here. The stitch pattern is the same. So I was able to do this little mini wrap, and this took a while to get there. And then I was able to do math and figure out what I want the final product to be. So I took, I don't have it down here, but I have one of those pashmina-like scarves, the very like silky material. And so I took that and I measured it, or I tried it on. I was like, this is how I want it to be. I measured it out, and then I was able to do the math and figure out how to do that. So my test crocheters were working the pattern basically for the first time, and they just did so well communicating with me, like where we had a thing about like the yarn was running out in that first section. So I was able to edit the first section with them. They did some trial and error. They were just truly like what testers, they were just really great testers and very willing to work with me, which was awesome. So then I finally got my yarn, which again was my fault because I was not ready. But I got my yarn and I was able to make mine in 10 days. Oh no. Hold on, I dropped some yarn. Where did it go, Toaster? He's eyeing it. Where is it? Found. Okay. Whew, probably need to cut all that out because that was ridiculous. Okay, so let me show you the final shawl. This is called Springtime in Suburbia. And it is named that because one, we're in springtime, we're entering that time of the year where it starts to get nice and warm. And this yarn is from Suburban Stitcher. So Springtime in Suburbia was the name that we came to together. Actually, it was the first thing that Diane said, and I was like, I love it, let's do it. So this is a rectangular wrap. It is not, the edges are not straight. Yeah, the short edges are not straight. They keep the chevron pattern, but man, it is just so awesome. So I'm gonna talk about the yarn first and then I'll back up and show you the shawl because there's several ways you can wear it. This is how I intended for it to be, and of course I'll back up in a second and show you. But the 3 yarns that I used from Suburban Stitcher, this is all in her sock. This is Coal. This main one is Peach Tea. And this one is called Nudie Patootie, and it's got peach speckles in there. This pattern uses 1 skein each of the contrast colors, so 1 skein each of these, and 2 of the main color. So my hope for this was that you could probably find 2 contrast colors in your stash that you love. And then you just need to find a color for the middle that joins them together. If you're like me, you might not stash a lot of two skeins of something. So it would be like, I would take these 2 that I love and then go to like a yarn shop and find 2 skeins of something that brings them together. So that was kind of my hope because it is a big wrap and it does use a lot of yarn. And just to make it more like friendly to not having to like save up money for it, that's what you can do. Or, you know, 4 skeins might be in your budget, no problem. And you need 4 skeins of fingering weight. The good news is this does use up almost all of those skeins, which I kind of like to have in a pattern because then I don't feel like I'm wasting a lot. Even though I do a lot of scrappy projects, it's like I can't, if I only use like 20 grams of something, that's kind of hard. So here's what I had left of each of these. I'm having to scratch Toaster because he started whining and barking, and I don't want him to do that during the video. But of my first skein, I went like right down to the end because I was weighing as I went, so I knew exactly how much it would take me to do a whole row, and so I knew I would have enough. And then here's my second skein of the main color, and then here's each of my contrasting ones, which I'm not exactly sure if I like maybe loosened up, tightened up. I don't know why I have a different amount for those 2, but they have the same number of rows, so who knows? Maybe it was because I started with the Coal and I started with a foundation row. I have no idea, but it does kind of go down to almost the end, which is, I think, awesome. And you can control the length if you wanted to shorten it. You could definitely shorten in this first section, like you would shorten these the same amount, or you could shorten the middle section just to make it shorter overall. Maybe you're a more petite person or you just don't want such a long wrap. But yeah, let me back up and show it off to you. Okay, so it is about 75 inches long once it's blocked. It was 60 before I blocked it. Hey, bud. And so this is the intended way I wanted to wear it. So I'm thinking like I'm going to a wedding, I have on a dress that's sleeveless and I get kind of chilly. I can just put it on like that. It hangs down in the back. It's about 25 inches wide. I think I'll get some more stretch on it as I wear it. But yeah, you can just wear it like this. I think I will wear it like this a lot, even in just like a more casual outfit, like a t-shirt. The other thing that is great about it is so drapey. It's fingering weight yarn on a large hook on an H. So it squishes up really nicely. You can totally just wear it, throw it around your neck. You could kind of offset it, wrap it around like this, you know, whichever color you want to display forward. I was even able to wear it completely like a scarf. I just doubled it over and put it around my neck like this. And then you just put it through the loop, twist your loop, put the other part through, and then you just have a scarf like this. So it is so versatile, super fun to pick 3 colors. Anyway, I just love it. So if you would like the pattern, it's already on Ravelry. It's $5. If you're attending Fiberfest, you might want to go by Diane's booth to look at this one. You can try it on. You can see if you'd want to make yours just as long, shorter, even longer. There was some yarn left. And also at Diane's booth, she's going to have the discount code where you can get the pattern just for the weekend of DFW Fiberfest for a discounted price of $3. So definitely go by there. That's just for people who are attending DFW Fiberfest. But yeah, I don't know. I love designing, and it's just so satisfying when it comes out just exactly with the use you were intending for it. So I love that one, and I'm so excited to drop this off with Diane tomorrow. Gosh, my hair. Drop this off with her tomorrow and see how it's received at Fiberfest. It's, you know, crochet is kind of growing in the, I don't want to say this, I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but I think that crochet is starting to grow into the like high-end yarn community, and especially festivals where there's a lot of indie dyed yarn, which is takes a lot of work, so it's a lot more expensive than something you can buy at a big box store, and you don't see a lot of crochet, but I think that it's starting to get in there. So that makes me really excited because I love to use indie dyed fingering weight yarn. That's like my favorite thing. So yeah, cannot wait for tomorrow. So I just have a few more quick little chit chat things, and then I'm gonna kind of summarize what will be happening at Fiberfest as far as my classes go. And that's it for this episode. So the first thing is that one of my knitting friends, Linda, she went on a trip to Israel recently. And while she was there, she said she saw these in Bethlehem, y'all. A woolly sheep felted in Bethlehem. So she brought these back for all of us in our group, and they are just so cute. So I think I'm gonna have to put this either on the top of my like yarn shelf or maybe on my desk so it can always watch me. But thank you so much. I just had to share that because it was so cute. The other thing is I have been eyeing my next project. So I need to finish my Woolberry wrap. I cannot wait to get that done. I am of course working on socks, but that's never a project that I like come home at night and work on. It's usually an on the go kind of thing. So I am eyeing some next projects, and I think I'm really gonna be doing some crocheted tank tops here soon. I've got some yarns that will be perfect for them, and I have friends that are just coming out with cute tank tops left and right. So 2 that I want to share. One is already out, and it's by 24 Threads, who is Lauren, and her top is called the April top. It's a little bit skinny at the top, very simple on the front, but then it has these side panels in a contrast color that are kind of like lacy. I think it's called filet crochet. I'm not really sure because I'm not as familiar with crochet as I am with knitting, but that's why I kind of like to learn new skills and like garments with crochet. It's new for me, and it's challenging, and it's fun to learn. So that's one. And then the second one comes out on Friday. So if you're watching on Thursday, it's not out yet, but it's by Eclair Makery, who is Claire. And it is called, I have practiced this because I keep messing it up, but it's called She Sells Seashells Top. And Claire, why did you have to name it that? Because I cannot say that. So anyway, it's really cute too. It's also 2-color. It's got a wider kind of, it's not a cap. It's like a, I don't know. It's still a tank, but it's just like sleeveless. And it has one color, I might be wrong. I think it has one color all the way to like the bottom, and then it has a very wide panel of a different color that's like a shell design, and it is so cute. So I have this special yarn that I've been saving because I haven't known what to do with it, and I think I'm gonna use that, but I will show that when I'm ready, which might be this month, it might be later on, but I've been eyeing tank tops lately. The other thing is, actually, I think this is the last thing. Somebody asked me to share explain Toaster's name. So Toaster is my dog. You've probably seen him walking around. I might have been like, not yelling at him, but telling him to stop barking if I didn't cut that out. But Toaster was my husband's dog first. He got Toaster when we were not dating, and he's a special dog. Like, growing up, I was never a dog person. And even when I met Toaster, I like really didn't like him because he was a puppy and he kept biting me and I did not know what to do. I really don't like dog hair being around, and he sheds, which is, I'm getting more used to, but I don't like it. And I definitely don't like it when dogs or cats or anything or people don't lick me. I just can't stand it. So luckily he doesn't really lick very much. And he is just a peculiar dog. Like, he doesn't eat, like if I drop food on the floor or even his own food, he won't eat it off the floor. He's so strange. And he doesn't like to be like picked up or anything, but he will cuddle with you. Like, if you're laying like down long, like he will literally come and be like, lay out long and be like little spoon to you. And it's kind of adorable. So Toaster has turned me into at least a lover of him. Even if I'm like shy around your dog, I do love Toaster. He's pretty awesome. So his name was picked by my husband, and I think he said he had always wanted to name a dog Toaster. He has another name too. Toaster and something else, I don't remember. But Toaster is actually not an appliance. Well, yes it is, but that's not the inspiration. The inspiration for his name was from the movie and children's book, The Brave Little Toaster. So if you haven't seen that, it's probably because you weren't born in the early 90s. It was a very creepy film. It's like, it starts out with, the Toaster's the protagonist, and he is, I think the family like leaves for vacation and all the appliances come to life and they're like, our family is gone, what are we gonna do? And so they decide to go outside of the house on an adventure. And like within the first 20 minutes, the vacuum cleaner like rolls over grass and chokes and dies or something. I mean, it's very like, it's like, you know, cartoons these days are much more safe and cheery and like not as morbid as like Bambi, Fox and the Hound. Right here. Right here. Come on. Come here. Come here. Right here. Okay, now sit. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you at DFW Fiberfest. I just realized that I forgot to talk about my classes, and that's okay. I'll talk about my classes next week, and I'll tell you how they were. And if you want to hear which classes I'm taking, I talked about them in last week's episode. Toaster, look. Can you see yourself, buddy? Thank you so much for watching. Bye.